a dragon prepares China's growing stockpiles. China is amassing vast reserves of essential resources. These include oil, grain, copper, and aluminum. This stockpiling is raising eyebrows around the world. No one knows the exact quantities China holds. The secrecy surrounding these stockpiles fuels anxieties. Some analysts see this as a sign of preparation for potential conflict. Others interpret it as a move towards greater self-sufficiency. Regardless of intent, the scale of China's stockpiling is significant. It has the potential to reshape global markets. Securing the Middle Kingdom economic and security drivers. China, with its rich history and vast landscape, is now focusing on securing its future through strategic economic and security measures. Several factors are driving China's stockpiling efforts. These efforts are not just about hoarding resources, but are part of a broader strategy to ensure long-term stability and growth. One is the country's desire for economic security. In a rapidly changing global economy, having a robust economic foundation is crucial for maintaining national strength. China is heavily reliant on imports for many essential resources. These include raw materials, energy supplies, and even food products, which are critical for sustaining its large population and industrial base. This dependence makes it vulnerable to supply chain disruptions. Events like natural disasters, political instability, or global pandemics can severely impact the flow of goods into the country. By building up reserves, China aims to cushion itself against price shocks and shortages. This strategy helps stabilize the economy and ensures that essential goods remain available even during global crises.
Another factor is security concerns. The Chinese government is acutely aware of the geopolitical tensions that surround it. China faces a complex geopolitical landscape. Its relationships with neighboring countries and global powers are often fraught with challenges and uncertainties. Tensions are high in the South China Sea and over Taiwan. These areas are flashpoints that could potentially escalate into larger conflicts, affecting regional stability. In the event of conflict, China's access to vital resources could be threatened. Ensuring a steady supply of energy, food, and other critical materials is essential for national security. Stockpiling provides a safety net, ensuring the country can weather potential crises. This proactive approach allows China to maintain its sovereignty and protect its interests in an unpredictable world.
Echoes of the past historical context of Chinese stockpiling. Stockpiling resources is deeply ingrained in Chinese history. For centuries, Chinese rulers have recognized the importance of maintaining reserves. These reserves were crucial for navigating times of famine, war, and natural disasters.
The concept of ever-normal granaries dates back to the Han Dynasty. This system involved storing grain during times of plenty. This stored grain was then released during shortages to stabilize prices and prevent famine. This historical context sheds light on the deep-rooted strategic thinking behind China's current stockpiling activities.
Global tremors international reactions to China's actions. The world is abuzz with discussions and debates about China's recent moves on the global stage. China's stockpiling has not gone unnoticed. From bustling ports to crowded markets, the signs of a nation preparing for something significant are evident. Countries around the world are watching closely, and reactions have been mixed. News outlets in various languages are filled with analyses and opinions reflecting the global concern. Some view China's actions with suspicion. Analysts and commentators are quick to point out the potential threats. They fear that China is preparing for a future conflict. The sight of military parades and the movement of equipment only adds to these fears. This fear is particularly acute in the United States, where China's growing military might is a source of considerable anxiety. The Pentagon and other defense establishments are on high alert.
Others are less concerned. In various think tanks and policy groups, there are voices of calm and reason. They see China's stockpiling as a prudent measure. To them, it is a logical step for a nation to ensure it has enough resources. They argue that any nation would take steps to ensure its own security and well-being. Press conferences and boardroom discussions often highlight this perspective. This divergence of opinion highlights the need for greater transparency and dialogue to reduce tensions. Diplomatic efforts and international summits are crucial in bridging the gap and fostering understanding. The global community remains divided, with public opinion swaying between fear and pragmatism. Social media and news channels are rife with debates, and public protests reflect the heightened emotions. Ultimately, the path forward lies in collaboration and open communication. The role of international organizations like the United Nations becomes ever more critical in these times of uncertainty. By working together, nations can navigate these turbulent waters and ensure a more stable and peaceful future for all.
Section 5. The stakes are high, the importance of stockpiled resources. The resources China is stockpiling are not just abstract commodities. They are the lifeblood of modern society: oil powers, transportation, industry, and agriculture. Grain is essential for feeding China's vast population. Copper and aluminum are vital for construction, electronics, and countless other industries. Disruptions to the supply of these resources would have far-reaching consequences. Factories could grind to a halt, food prices could skyrocket, social unrest could erupt. The stakes are high, and China's leaders are acutely aware of the need to secure these vital resources. Section 6. A sword or a shield? Diverse perspectives on China's motives. Interpretations of China's stockpiling vary widely. Some see it as a sign of aggression, a prelude to conflict. They point to China's increasingly assertive foreign policy and its military build-up as evidence of its expansionist ambitions.
Others view China's actions through a different lens. They see a country simply seeking to protect its interests in an uncertain world. They argue that China's stockpiling is a defensive measure, aimed at ensuring its own survival in a world facing climate change, resource scarcity, and geopolitical instability.
Section 7. Building bridges, the need for transparency and dialogue. The lack of transparency surrounding China's stockpiling is a major source of concern. When intentions are unclear, mistrust flourishes. Open communication is crucial to alleviating fears and preventing misunderstandings. China should be more forthcoming about the scale and purpose of its stockpiling. Global dialogue on resource security is also essential. By working together, nations can create a more stable and predictable international environment. Section 8. Charting a course, navigating uncertainty and fostering stability. The world is at a crossroads. Resource scarcity, climate change, and geopolitical tensions are creating a volatile global landscape. China's stockpiling is both a symptom and a driver of this uncertainty. Navigating this complex terrain requires careful diplomacy, open communication, and a commitment to cooperation. The stakes are too high for mistrust and miscalculation. The international community must work together to build a more secure and sustainable future. Section 9. Beyond the headlines, understanding China's domestic challenges. China's stockpiling is often framed in geopolitical terms, with many analysts focusing on its implications for global power dynamics and military strategy. However, it's crucial to consider the domestic factors at play. The internal pressures and challenges that China faces are equally significant and often overlooked. China faces a unique set of challenges that are deeply rooted in its vast and diverse population. It has a massive population to feed, which requires a consistent and reliable supply of food and resources. Additionally, the country is experiencing a rapidly growing economy, which brings its own set of demands and pressures. These factors place immense pressure on China's resources, infrastructure, and social systems.
China's leaders are acutely aware of the need to maintain social stability. They understand that any significant disruption could lead to unrest. Food security in particular is paramount. Ensuring that the population has access to sufficient food is a top priority. Any disruption to food supplies could have devastating consequences, leading to widespread dissatisfaction and potential instability. Stockpiling is therefore not just about projecting power on the world stage, but also about ensuring domestic tranquility. It is a strategic move to safeguard the nation's future and maintain harmony within its borders.
Section 10. The global food web, interconnectedness and the risk of disruption. In an increasingly interconnected world, China's actions have global ramifications. China is a major player in global commodity markets. Its demand for resources influences prices and availability worldwide.
China's stockpiling could exacerbate resource scarcity. This could lead to higher prices and increased competition for resources. This underscores the need for international cooperation to manage shared resources sustainably.
Section 11, towards a secure future, cooperation and sustainable resource management. China's stockpiling is a wake-up call. It highlights the growing importance of resource security in the 21st century. It also underscores the need for a more cooperative and sustainable approach to resource management. The international community must work together to promote transparency and dialogue on resource issues, develop sustainable resource management practices, invest in renewable energy and resource-efficient technologies, and strengthen global governance mechanisms for resource management. By addressing these challenges collectively, we can build a more secure and prosperous future for all.